Okay. I think we are live. I'm talking. Guys, let me know if you can hear me, if you're there. It looks like we already got some people here. We got the Toxic Spammer. We got Nineshade. We got Win Davis. We got Ray Galaxy. Hisoka. Hello. How y'all doing? Can you guys hear me okay? You guys hear me all right? Hey Ken, how you doing? Yay, thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. All right. Hey everyone, I'm here. It is now 6 p.m. It's officially live Q&A time. All right, I don't know if any of you guys... Oh, hello. I don't know if any of you guys were at the Twitch stream yesterday. We got some people... We had some people watching us for that. That was a lot of fun. I am gonna talk about that, like something kind of happened with that, and I'll get into that like when more people show up, so I can let more people know. A lot of volleyballs, okay. I don't really know what that means. Anybody have a question that they want me to answer? All right. Anybody want to ask me anything? Like, I am here. I am not queer, and I am ready to go. How do you know so much mythology? Name all of Nyx's kids. Do you like musicals? Okay, I'm going to take these one at a time. How do you know so much mythology? I get asked this a lot, but I'll answer it again. When I was about 3 or 4 years old, my mom, instead of reading me fairy tales, would read me one of the first books I read all the way through. I kept reading more Greek mythology. There was a Greek mythology book at my grandma's house that I also read. And then when I got a little older, my parents for Christmas got me a computer game called Age of Mythology, which was Greek, Egyptian, and Norse myth. That was how I learned there were other mythologies to study too. And I got into Egyptian and Norse that way. And then one time I was in the Borders bookstore and I found a book called Horrible Histories, The Angry Aztecs, which was a hilarious book, and that got me into Aztec myth. And it all just kept going from there. I learned about the Monkey King at one point. He seemed really cool, so I learned Chinese myth, and that was an easy segue into Japanese myth. And, you know, I've learned Hindu in order to help make this game I'm working on, so it just kind of kept going. So, you know, I've spent pretty much 22, 23 years reading myths, so that's how I know so much mythology. I hope that answers your question. Name all of Nyx's kids. Oh, God, heaven. I know Eris is one of them. I'm pretty sure Hypnos and Thanatos are as well. I can't name all of Nyx's kids. I'm sorry. There's so many. She has so many kids. Do you like musicals? If so, top 5. I do like musicals. It depends on the musical. Top musical, Avenue Q. I love Avenue Q very much. Also very much enjoyed A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Very much enjoyed Fiddler on the Roof. Those are probably the top 3, and what's under those? I like Book of Mormon, but is it in the top 5? I don't know. A Very Potter musical is a ton of fun. That's probably in there. Into the Woods is also a ton of fun. Anyway, so yeah, I guess those are the top 5. Let's just say number 1 is definitely Avenue Q, and the other 4 in no particular order are probably A Very Potter musical, Fiddler on the Roof, Into the Woods, and what did I say was the 5th one? Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Name everyone Zeus cheated on his wife with. How much time you got, Fabulous Disappointment? You want to be here all day? Do you have any idea about when your card game will come out? We're shooting for a 2021 release. We're hoping next year. We've made a lot of great progress with the art. A lot of it's in the hands of how fast the artists draw. But we've gotten a ton of art done, and we're on track for 2021 release. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. So we're also almost done with the website for the game. So that's going to launch probably within a week, honestly. I hope so. So yeah, and that'll give you a better up-to-date thing on when the game will come out. What's your favorite mythology? I got asked this last time. Okay. It's probably going to have to be Greek, just because that was the one I spent the most time with. But it's really hard to pick. I love Greek is the one I know the most. It was my first one. Guys, there's no need to retract your messages. I still love all your messages. Don't worry about it. Okay, K Marley D. Hi to you too. Yeah, nice to see you. Very frequent commenter on videos. Favorite minor god or goddess? That's a good question, actually. Minor god. I mean, in which mythology? I guess we're talking Greek. Favorite minor god. I really like Thanatos. It might be Thanatos. Also, Heracles technically became a minor god. So it's probably between Heracles and Thanatos. What mythological books would you recommend to me to read? I did a video called Myth Books I Recommend, but I'll recap them right here. Dowlaris' Book of Greek Myths is perfect. You should read that. He also wrote one on Norse myths. I haven't checked that one out yet, but given how well they did the Greek myths, I'm sure it's good. Also, Neil Gaiman wrote a book about Norse mythology, so that's a good way to learn Norse mythology. Percy Jackson's Greek Gods is a good way to learn Greek mythology. Horrible Histories covers cultures and mythologies pretty well, and they cover just about all of them. So Horrible Histories is another good book series to check out. Also, there's an author named Jake Jackson who's covered just about every mythology, and he writes them really well too. My business partner got me a book by him on Hindu mythology, and that was my first step into learning Hindu, and it was great. So great, I went ahead and bought his Celtic mythology book too, and it helped me learn that as well. So those are some of the books I would recommend you guys check out. What did Zeus act like when Hera thought he cheated on her? He acted Zeus, or Zeus-spicious. Oh, my business partner would hate that joke. I love that. That's wonderful. Greek, yeah, I should have made that clear. Well, I answered it as though clear, so as though it was Greek. So there you go. The moment you said, hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, I feel like you jinxed it. I'm sorry. Yes, you said Heracles, right? Thank you. Yeah, that was always a weird. That was always something I thought was weird, how everyone says Hercules instead of Heracles. For those who don't know, Hercules is actually the Roman name. His Greek name is Heracles. Everyone says Hercules for some reason. I don't know why the media always makes it Hercules. I've never, ever seen the media call him Heracles in my life. Mean Grizz says hello. Hello to you too, Mean Grizz. How you doing? All right. Okay, if the Greek gods could die and they were all in the Hunger Games, who would win? Zeus. I've read a lot of mythology that says Zeus alone is stronger than all the other gods put together. There is, however, a conflicting myth where when the gods tried to rebel, they say that Poseidon could possibly beat Zeus. But here's the thing. Even if we believe Poseidon is a match for Zeus, if Zeus, electricity, water, the result kind of speaks for itself. So I'm going to say Zeus would win. I think he could beat all the Greek gods. Now, if we're including primordial deities like Nyx and Erebus and Gaia, things might be a little different. And I think Nyx is the primordial that the gods are the most scared of. So if we're talking them, it would probably be Nyx. What are your thoughts on Disney making a Percy Jackson TV show? I don't know whether to be excited or not. I'm a little excited because I heard Rick Riordan is very heavily involved. And I think that was him not being involved enough was what kind of killed the movies. I don't know if that was his decision or the studio's decision. But yeah, the movies, I'm pretty sure Rick Riordan did not make a lot of those decisions. And I heard he wasn't as involved as he would have liked to be. So I think there's a lot of potential here. So far, Disney Plus has made The Mandalorian. That was fantastic. But then again, that was Jon Favreau. But it shows they have the budget to make a really good show like this. So all they have to do is not screw it up. I disagree because Eris could. Here's a follow up to the Hunger Games question. I disagree that Zeus would win because Eris could turn everyone against each other, make them kill each other, and then kill off the stragglers. You got a point there, actually. It might not just be about raw power. Like Eris could easily strategize that, and Athena could probably strategize something too. I guess I was just thinking about raw power, but yeah, you've got a point there. Eris could freaking make them break each other's necks. Eris has even successfully manipulated Athena before. Steven Universe, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Steven Universe. I've heard a lot of good things, but I have yet to see that. Overly Sarcastic Productions I know about Overly Sarcastic, is a YouTube channel that does fun summaries of different gods and myths of a multitude of cultures, if you want to check them out. Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff. They're great. Overly Sarcastic Productions is wonderful. You guys should check them out, honestly. Hello to you too, Joshua. Wynn Davis asks, Hades could summon a whole fracking army. He could, but wouldn't that be cheating in the Hunger Games? Don't you have to rely on your own power? I don't think outside assistance is allowed except for sponsorships. We digger, exactly. Yeah, cool. I feel like Hermes would stand a good chance of winning. Yeah, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you. Joshua's kind of doing his own thing in the chat. Well, Aaliyah, I recommend you go down to the school counselor and see if they have a spare set of pants for you down there. Who would you rather have turned into a plant, Daphne or Hyacinthus? I see what you're doing here. Well, Daphne got turned into a plant to escape Apollo. Hyacinthus got turned into a plant after he died. So I think I would say Daphne because it kind of saved her. So that's probably the best thing. All right, Bella says, I'm about to get so tan, you guys. Icarus's last words. Lovely. I love that. That's a good joke. I did a joke similar to that at one point. Okay, I do not know what this is all about. All right, so while that's going, I'm just going to go ahead and explain something that... Feel free to continue asking questions while I'm doing this. So that way they'll pile up and I can go through them in a bit. Yesterday we did a Twitch live stream of the game Hades, which was a lot of fun. My buddy Zaggard is seeing about editing it down, and maybe we'll post a copy of it onto this YouTube channel. We very much enjoyed doing it. We very much enjoyed interacting with everyone. Here's the problem. About an hour and a half in, the stream got messed up, and it's because something I think happened with the Wi-Fi, and it was really annoying because my buddy Zaggard has actually done a lot of streams, and according to him, it had never happened before. So it annoyed me a little that it just suddenly decided to happen right there. But I don't know what that was all about. So yeah, it's a little unfortunate that the stream, which was going so well, suddenly got messed up. But I honestly don't really know what happened there. So anyway, we are going to do more streams though, and hey, if anyone here was at the stream, please let me know, and let me know what you thought of the stream. And we're probably going to stream more games, so feel free to recommend more games or suggest more games. Like if somebody suggested God of War, we're probably going to do God of War. We might do the whole series. We'll see what happens. Okay. Who is your least favorite major god? Ooh. That's hard to pick because I do actually like all of them. Least favorite, it's probably and this is no hate for this character, but it's probably Hera. There aren't a lot of really cool Hera stories in mythology, and the way she punishes all the victims of Zeus is pretty sad. Like I have my problems with Aphrodite too, but she has some pretty cool stories in mythology, at least. Like, all right, so which demigod's life would you rather have? Percy's. Hey, Percy ends up pretty much getting everything, and Percy's a badass. I like Percy a lot. All right, who is your favorite minor non-underworld god? Okay, well I said it was between Thanatos and Heracles, so I guess that would be Heracles. I really like Heracles. He's really nice. All right. Ken was in the stream for a little bit. Enjoyed the puns. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. If there was anything else you enjoyed about it, I'm happy to hear that. Okay. Yeah, my brother laughed so hard. Well, I'm glad you did. Yeah, I'm glad you had a good time and glad you enjoyed that. All right. Would you react to Clash of the Titans? The original or the new one? Because there's a remake of Clash of the Titans. And I'd be happy to do that, honestly. Do you want to see a live reaction to it, or do you want to see me discuss it like I did with Over the Moon? I would just need you to clarify that. About to say my last words, so here I go. I do not like Zeus at all. He's annoying. Cowers under table. It's perfectly fair to not like Zeus. A lot of people don't like Zeus. Zeus has done a lot of horrible things. I'm still alive. Okay. Out of the gods that are not in the big three, who would you prefer to be your parent or parents? That's a good question. Okay. Because I out of the big three, it would be Hades. But which non-big three do I want to be a child of? Oh, that's hard. I always liked Dionysus a lot. Probably Hephaestus, actually. I would really like to be child of Hephaestus. I'd like to be able to build stuff. I'd like to be able to control fire. I think that'd be a ton of fun, honestly. And Hephaestus is one of my favorites out of the Greek gods. Would you rather learn Celtic mythology pre-Christianization or Norse mythology pre-Christianization? This is funny because I've already learned both. It's hard. I'm probably gonna go with Norse. Yeah, Norse has a lot of cool stuff. They both have a ton of cool stuff, but I learned Norse before Celtic, so I think that tells you where my priority was. So yeah, it would probably be Norse. I love the detail in Hades. I did too. I love that whole game. That game is amazing, and we are definitely going to stream it again at some point. Zeus isn't so much annoying as he is too horny. You're absolutely right. But he can also have a lot of other problems. He's murdered a lot of people. I don't like Zeus either. Fair enough. I love Poseidon. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to love Poseidon. He's done some bad things too, but pretty much all the Greek gods have done horrible things, though. If we spend all day picking apart what all the Greek gods have done and reasons not to like them, we're going to be here all week. Just playing Papers, Please. I have not played that yet. Is Papers, Please mythology related? I don't think it is. Poseidon is chill. He's okay, but Hades is my godly parent, so I'm biased, of course, but Poseidon is okay. Hades is, according to the Rick Riordan quiz, Hades is my godly parent, too. I did a video about that, if anybody wants to check that out. Which Greek god do you think doesn't deserve godhood? God, you asking me to judge whether gods deserve godhood. That's kind of a hard decision to make. I don't know. I mean, they all do some good. I feel like I'm going to divide my audience with a lot of these answers. Which god does not deserve godhood? You know, honestly, I don't really know how to answer that. I feel like they all kind of they've all done horrible things, but they've all also done wonderful things. There's been times when Hera has helped people. Aphrodite has done so many horrible things, but she's also helped people in the past. Like there's that story where this guy spent his whole life building a statue, and Aphrodite brings it to life for him. That's a really sweet story. So I honestly don't think there's a god out there who I can definitively say does not deserve godhood. I love how Poseidon was known as Uncle Number 2. Yeah, in the Hades game. Yeah, that was a funny line. I enjoyed that. Do you like astrology? I know nothing about astrology. Actually, my business partner is a very zodiac-y person. She likes astrology, I think. I'm a Capricorn, though, if anybody wants to know. Yeah, My business partner is a Pisces. And I'm one of those people who's like with astrology and zodiacs. It's like, oh, this is so silly. This probably doesn't mean anything. What does mine say though? Oh, that's so relevant. That's me. I totally, but it's silly. Yeah, I think that's how we all are with the zodiac signs and with fortune cookies. These are so dumb. What does mine say? I wish there was more stories based on the Titans of Greek myths. I agree with you. Yeah. The Titans are really cool, but the problem is nowadays everyone just kind of thinks they're just giant monsters, which they're not. The Titans were basically the gods before the gods. There's a lot of interesting stuff about them. I saw that and I was so happy because I can never find other Hades kids. Well, you found one. There you go. Okay. They all suck. Yeah, kind of. I'm an Aries. Good for you. Good for you. Way to be an Aries. I've heard that Hades is part dating sim. Is that true? If it is, I didn't get to that. We only got like a couple hours into Hades, like up to the first boss. So yeah, I didn't get to any dating sim stuff. That would be really interesting if it ends up being that. Oh, we've got a lot of Arieses in the chat. Good for you guys. Kronos is the Titan of time, right? Yes. Every Titan like a god has something they're the Titan of. Actually, before Hades ruled the underworld was ruled by a Titan known as Iapetus. Iapetus was Titan of mortality. Yeah, so they all have a thing that they're the Titan of, and Kronos is the Titan of time, yes. Have you ever read Percy Jackson's Greek Gods and the Other Greek Heroes book? I actually haven't finished them, but I have gotten into them. One reason I didn't finish them was I lent them to a friend, and then I lent them to another friend, and then by the time I got them back, I was reading something else. But I will eventually finish those. I think those are well written, which is why they're on my list of recommended mythology books. I love how everyone forgets Aphrodite can be just as chaotic and brutal as Ares. Very true. Love and war have a lot of surprising similarities. Yeah, and I think that's why they like each other. Aphrodite and Ares are both pretty awful when they want to be. Pretty destructive. Everyone's saying their zodiac signs in the chat now. Yeah, cool. Good for you guys. You mean Bob? That's a Percy Jackson reference about Iapetus. Yeah, good for you guys. Do you know any documentaries about Norse gods? Unfortunately, no. I haven't seen any documentaries about Norse gods. I remember when I was a kid, I saw a documentary about the Argo. I don't know what it was called, though. It was kind of interesting. They actually had a woman playing Medea for certain scenes and a guy playing Jason for certain scenes. But that's the only myth-based documentary I've ever seen. I prefer to read the books about mythology. Bob says hello. Hello. Have you read Kane Chronicles? Yes. Have you read any other Rick Riordan books besides the Greek-Roman ones? I've read them all. Every single one. I'm not caught up on Trials of Apollo, though. I'm about a book and a half behind, but I'm working on it. But I read all the Percy Jackson, all the Heroes of Olympus, all the Kane Chronicles, all the Magnus Chase books. And as for Rick Riordan Presents, I read the first Aru Shah, and I have a few of the other Rick Riordan Presents books in my room on my reading list. I'm going to get to those. Yeah, my favorite one is probably still the Percy Jackson series, but I still love all the things he writes. I had a lot of fun with the Magnus Chase books. There was a ton of good creativity there. Who is your favorite Titan? It probably is Iapetus. I really love that there's a Titan of mortality, and in mythology, he's pretty vicious and ruthless. He's known as the Piercer. Obviously in the Percy Jackson series, given what happens to him, he kind of mellows out a little. But in actual mythology, he's pretty badass. Do you play any instruments? I used to play the drums, actually, back in middle school and high school. I used to be a big drummer. But then I wasn't a good student, so I had to drop my music classes in order to try to get better at my other classes, and eventually I just kind of forgot how to play. I could probably pick it back up again, and I would like to, because my business partner is a big fan of that kind of stuff, but maybe someday. But for now, I can't play anything. All right. The Tower of Nero is awesome. You should totally read it. I own it. It's in my room. I just have to finish Tyrant's Tomb, and then I'll get to Tower of Nero. But yeah, I love the Trials of Apollo series. It's great, and I'm glad to hear Tower of Nero is awesome. Yeah, I'm all the more excited to read it. Pick a random book. Turn to page 17. That's what your friends call you behind your back, and I quote, "Not today." Okay. Here's a book. This is called. She leaves a little sparkle wherever she goes. This is one of my business partners. Oh, this is a journal. This isn't going to do anything. My business partner left that here. All right, let me go get a book and I'll play this game. Okay, this is from my family's bookshelf, and this is the riveting, unbelievable tale. Are you ready for this? Top federal tax issues for 2020 CPE course. Yeah, you ain't ready for this. All right. Page 17. All right, page 17. What do my friends call me behind my back? Well, according to page 17, my friends call me the surgical approach. How dare they? I am not the surgical approach. I am insulted. Who's your favorite primordial god? Oh, that's a good question. Okay. Tartarus. Tartarus. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Tartarus is both a place and a primordial being. He's definitely my favorite. He's cool. He's the father of Typhon and the giants. You know, I'm trying to like eventually put him in the game in like an expansion. I want to get really cool artwork for him. I want it to look like Tartarus, the place, is coming up and coming to life as the guy. I play clarinet. That's great. Yeah. All right, cool. But can you play better than Squidward? Now that's the real question right there. We all know Squidward is a pro. Would you consider fairy tales mythology? You know, the interesting thing about that is actually a lot of fairy tales that we have nowadays come from Celtic myths. So since I'm eventually going to put Celtic in the game as an expansion, you know, if the game succeeds, which I hope it does, it'll be something pretty close to that. We've also talked about doing an expansion pass called the Urban Legends deck, where we put urban legend characters in. And if people if people really want that, we might actually do that. So yeah, as for fairy tales, yeah, there's I feel like the Celtic deck and the Urban Legends deck like have some elements of that. So, you know, hopefully that'll like give you the fix you want. What is your favorite underworld river? We've got the Styx, we've got the Cactus, we've got the Phlegethon, we've got the Leith. I'm old-fashioned. It's probably the Styx. Like, you know, I do really like the Styx. It's really cool. I played violin. Whoa, respect. That's a difficult instrument. Okay, I love Lavinia Asimov so much. Okay, well, yeah, that's cool. All right, apparently Sebastian plays the trumpet. Good for you, Sebastian. Okay, don't shame the trumpet. The trumpet is nice. I am a boy, and the quiz said I was a hunter of Artemis. Ah, I see the hunters of Artemis have opened up their doors. They've become more progressive. Good for them. I don't know. You know, I always thought it would be cool if there was like a book where it actually turns out Artemis like caved and had a kid and she doesn't want anyone to know about it. And it's just the tale of that kid and how their life goes. I also dabbled with keyboard. Nice. I always wanted to know how to play the keyboard. Have you played Santorini? And no, I can't play better than Squidward. I'm sorry. I actually don't know what that is. So I can't say I have. Aphrodite is the embodiment of Uranus. So what that make her a Titan? Oh, okay. So you're saying she's the child of Uranus. Wouldn't that make her a Titan? It's here's the thing about that though. The Hecatoncheires and the Cyclopses are also children of Uranus, and yet none of them are Titans. Heck, all of the like Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and all of them are children of Kronos, and yet they're not Titans. A lot of the other Titans' children are minor Titans who became minor gods. So it's kind of hard to say whether Titan is actually a species or maybe it's just like a title. So I think you can kind of pick when you're one of those beings, you can kind of pick whether you want to call yourself a god or a Titan. I mean, you could definitely say Aphrodite has pure Titan blood, so that's probably gives her an interesting power that the others don't have. Have you figured out the Isis, Osiris, and Horus Egyptian scandal? I still have no clue how it works. The fact that Horus is their child and their brother. I did, I actually posted a question about that a long time ago. And through deeper research and people's answers, like the commonly accepted explanation for that is that there are actually two different Horuses, known as Horus the Elder and Horus the Avenger. Horus the Elder is the brother of Osiris and Isis, and Horus the Avenger is the child of Osiris and Isis. And I guess the idea is they just named their son after their brother. So I think that's an explanation that kind of clears it up. My favorite underworld river is the Lethe. Yeah, that's cool. The river Lethe is the river of forgetfulness. It's in Elysium, and the reason it's there is if people choose to be reincarnated into a second life, they first have to go to the river Lethe in order to forget their previous life so that they can start a new one. All right, I played viola. Good for you. What makes Aphrodite a god? Yeah, like we touched on this earlier. Yeah, like I'm you heard what I said, right? So yeah, I touched on that about a minute ago. Caitlin says, hey to you too, Caitlin. How you doing? When Davis says, I would read that. I assume you're talking about the Artemis story. I'm glad you like my idea. Santorini is a board game. Oh, based off Greek mythology, and the artwork is the cutest thing ever. I am going to make a note of that. Santorini. Okay, I might talk about that on the channel at some point. Yeah, sorry, just give me a sec. Santorini. All right, well, thanks for letting me know about that. If anybody else has any mythology-based like tabletop games they know about, I love tabletop games, and obviously I love mythology, so I'm happy to hear about them. There's this actually Filipino tabletop game being worked on called Lagim, I believe, and I'm hoping to talk about that on the channel soon too. What's up, my nerds? We're doing okay. I hope you're doing okay too, Caitlin. All right. I'm sorry, but I have to say your hair is iconic. Oh, thank you. It does whatever it wants. People are always telling me to do things with it. I'm like, guys, it's not up to me. The hair does what the hair wants to do. Okay. Oh, hi. Thanks for answering. You're welcome. I'm trying to answer pretty much everyone because you guys. Honestly, I wouldn't be here without you guys. So, I just want you guys to know that every single one of you is important to me, and I hope I'm important to you guys. Okay. You're welcome. Do Titans, gods, and primordials have no real difference, and it just depends on the period they were born? I would say there is a difference because I think the thing about primordials is primordials aren't just the god of something. They also are that thing. Can you deal with that? Oh, I guess it's dealt with. Okay, sorry. There's some problem with the phone. Yeah, see, primordials aren't just the god of something. They also are the thing. That's the difference. I think the primordials do have a difference between gods because gods are usually born through giving birth. But the thing about primordials is I think they more just kind of come into existence when that thing comes into existence. Like Nyx isn't just the goddess of night. She also is the night. Gaia isn't just goddess of earth. Gaia is the earth. Like Uranus is the sky. Tartarus is Tartarus. Erebus is the darkness. Pontus is the sea. So I think that's the big difference. Titans, I think Titan is just a title. Hey, Titan title. Maybe that's where we get the word from. Who knows? They're just the generation before the gods is the idea, I think, with the Titans. Yeah. Okay. So that's my thoughts on gods, Titans, and primordials. How are you? I'm okay. I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying this, so I hope you're doing okay too. I know it was announced live action, but if it were up to you, would you make the Percy Jackson show animated or live action? Really, Really hard question to answer because I really much enjoy both. I know people who hate animation. I know people who are insanely animation master race people. I love both. Like I grew up with a lot of animation, and I also see a lot of value in live action. I think it all depends on how good you can make it look. If you're gonna do live action and you can make it look like as good as The Mandalorian or The Boys or a freaking Marvel movie, do it in live action. But if you can't make it look good, but you can do animation and make it look as good as like Avatar: The Last Airbender, do it in animation. It really, I don't. All I would want to know is how can we get this done? Can we get it done well? That would be how. It's all about how the product turns out. All right. Have you looked on the Kane Chronicles adaptation from Netflix? I have not managed to get to that yet because I've been really busy with Over the Moon on Netflix and Blood of Zeus on Netflix. For everyone's been asking me what I'm going to do Blood of Zeus. We actually, me and a couple of friends actually binged it last night, recorded a video about it. My buddy's editing it. It'll be up as soon as possible. So you'll get to see what we thought of Blood of Zeus. I've already put up a video about Over the Moon, and next on my list of things to look up is Kane Chronicles. So I promise you I will check that out as soon as possible. All right. If you were a god, what do you think your domain would be? That's an interesting question. I always wanted to be a god, either kind of like an underworld god or a trickster god, because my favorite gods are Hades, Anubis, Loki, and the Monkey King, and Kali from Hindu mythology. So I think I would like to be a god who messes around with people, but not in like a evil Loki kind of way, just in kind of like a more fun Sun Wukong kind of way, or Loki before he turned evil. Let me tell you what I mean by that. When Loki was first in early Norse tales, he wasn't evil. He was on the same side as the other gods, but he was still a god of trickery. But he would use trickery, most of the time, either just to mess with the other gods or to help them win. But then, as Norse mythology got more Christianized, Loki was turned more into a devil figure. So he started doing horrible things, like straight up killing other gods. So I think I would want to be a god kind of similar to Sun Wukong. Hi to you too. Favorite god from each mythology. Oh, I just kind of touched on that. All right, Greek, Hades. Egyptian, Anubis. Norse, Loki. Chinese, the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. Japanese, it's probably Zhonghui from Japan. Or no, sorry, Zhonghui is Chinese. What am I doing? Stupid. Okay, Japanese, it's probably either Amaterasu or Hachiman, or actually, maybe not. Maybe it's Raiju. I really like. I've never had to pick a favorite for Japanese yet, but it's between Amaterasu, Hachiman, and Raiju. I like those three a lot. Hindu, it's Kali. Celtic, I actually really like the Dagda. It's between the Dagda and Aron, I believe, for Celtic. Aztec, it's Mictlantecuhtli. So those are the mythologies I know well. And I'm currently trying to study Polynesian and Native American and Filipino. So a lot going on there. Okay. If God made all of us and Earth, who made God? I don't know. I don't know. I'm a Christian person myself, so I actually believe in that. But I couldn't possibly give you those answers. You'd have to ask the man upstairs. How did you get into mythology? I touched on this at the beginning of the video, but I'll be really quick here. When I was a little kid, my mom read me myths instead of fairy tales. That's how I got into them. My first myth-based video game was Age of Mythology, which quickly became one of my favorite games, got me into more mythologies, read more books as I got older, studied more mythologies in order to make the game I'm currently making. So that's a quick summary of how it happened. Can we just appreciate the most important character in Heroes of Olympus for a solid minute, aka Frank's grandmother, the original phrase? Sure, we can take a minute for that. Appreciate Frank. Are you appreciating Frank's grandmother? Are you appreciating that grandmother? You better be. Okay, good. I hope you appreciated her quite a bit. Yeah, honestly, I want to learn more about like where Frank's shapeshifting comes from. I think my theory is he's descended from the Monkey King, and that's where he gets it from. But I don't know if they're ever going to confirm that. Hello, good sir. Hello, good fellow. Good to see you. When are you going to make another live chat? I'm doing one right now. What do you want from me? I'm going to try to do one of these every month, and I'll give you guys notice before each one. Yes, Frank's grandmother. Yep, indeed. Favorite Riordan verse ship. Doesn't have to be canon. Mine is Brick and Jason, probably. My number one ship was always Percy and Annabeth. I know that's the most cliche thing to say, and they're already together, but I just love them together. I wanted them to get together so much when I was reading the story early on. I was really scared Percy was going to get together with Rachel, and I was like, no, be with Annabeth. And then he did, and I was like, good. Can you recommend any authors to start a mythology? I touched on this earlier. I'll get on this right now. Dowlaris, Jake Jackson, and Neil Gaiman, and the Horrible Histories series. Those are 4 really good. I know Horrible Histories isn't an author name, but that's a series that touches on a lot of cultures, and that's how I got into Aztec mythology in the first place, and they also cover pretty much all the other ones. Jake Jackson covers pretty much all of them. Dowlaris covers Greek and Norse, and his Greek book was how I first started Greek mythology, so, I mean, if you like where I ended up, you might want to check that out. And Neil Gaiman is incredibly well-educated, especially in Norse mythology, so he wrote a book about Norse mythology. I'd recommend you check that out. Okay. What about mythology really made you make this channel? Oh, well, it's there's actually a few reasons I made this channel. I think the biggest reason would be my business partner. She was a huge influence on what I do nowadays. I grew up obviously loving mythology, and when I was one thing, I had some difficulties growing up with some severe bullying and some severe trouble at home, and a severe lack of self-esteem. So one of the things I would always turn to feel better was I discovered stand-up comedy online, and I fell in love with it. Now, my first comedian was Bill Cosby, and I'm still grateful to those shows for what they did for me, but let's not get into that any further than that. Then I got into Jerry Seinfeld, and then I got into Jim Gaffigan, and then I got into Brian Regan, and it just kept going from there. And it made me feel better in some of my darkest moments. And then when I got a little older, I wanted to do that for other people. So I started trying to be a comedian. I did stand-up comedy at a school talent show. It went very well. I started doing stand-up comedy at a few events, which went pretty well, a few places that went pretty well, but didn't end up really going very far. And I took acting classes in high school and college, which I had a lot of fun with. But I had trouble finding acting work. Fortunately, actually, at one of my acting jobs was where I met my business partner, and that woman pretty much completely changed my life. Because as things went on, I started making a mythology-based card game in my spare time because it was a game that I always wanted to exist. And my business partner eventually saw it, and she didn't even like card games at all. But she played mine, and she told me, "I love this game. Are you making this game happen?" And that's when she started helping me do it, and she started doing all the things I could never do for it. That's how she became my business partner. And also, as time went on, like as I was learning new mythologies and I wanted an outlet for like acting and comedy, she actually came over to me and told me about TikTok and told me, TikTok's a very fast growing platform. I didn't use TikTok at the time. But she said, you have a lot of talent. Why don't you just try? And because this is also partially because I had tried to make YouTube sketches in the past, but I had trouble, like other people would keep letting me down when I was trying to get a cast together. She said, do TikTok because you don't need help from other people. It's really easy, short videos. Just why don't you take the things comedy and mythology, and put them together here? Maybe you'll be something unique. I said, okay, I'll try it out. And Well, long story short, the TikTok page ended up kind of blowing up. And so I decided not everyone uses TikTok. So then I made a YouTube channel where I would put the TikTok videos, and I could also make longer videos that I couldn't put on TikTok because they have a maximum of 60 seconds over there. And that's how this channel began. So it was partially because of mythology, partially because of comedy, partially because of the game I'm working on, because I promote the game a little on these. And but majoritarily, I made this channel because of my business partner. So if you're glad this channel exists, like she's the one to thank. She's the best person I've ever met, and she's just wonderful. Anyway, okay. So anyway, now that huge story is over, mine is phrasal. Good for you. It's talking about the Percy Jackson ship. I agree. Was Kane announced live action or animated on Netflix? I don't know. If anybody knows, please post that. I like so that we can all know. How is Blood of Zeus? Blood of Zeus. Like I said, we're gonna put up a video talking about it, but it's not a bad show. It's not a particularly great show either. It's got some serious problems that hold it back, but there's a lot of passion put into it. Overall, I'd say it's okay. It's an okay show. I would say don't watch it alone. Watch it with friends, because I had fun watching it with friends. We were all bouncing our commentary off it. It made it 10 times more fun. So I would say watch it with friends. It's all right. Today I learned we don't know Plato's real name, as Plato was his wrestling name. Today I learned that too. That's a hilarious fun fact. I might do a fun fact video about that, actually. Let's make a note of that. Let's make a note of that. Thank you, Sebastian. Give me a sec. Plato. I have a really bad memory, so I have to make a lot of notes in my day-to-day life. Do you think that Frank has the ability to turn into different body parts into different animals at the same time, like some sort of chimera? Oh, I see what you're asking. Are you saying like, you're saying like, do you think Frank has the ability to turn this into a lion paw and turn this into an eagle talon at the same time? Okay, so that would be amazing. I'm going to have to say no, because my theory is that he's descended from Sun Wukong, and Sun Wukong could not do that. It was only one animal at a time for that stuff. All right. Loki was God. He was a god. God of mischief, trickery, and wildfire. Finish the lyrics. I was a girl in the village doing all right. All right. I was a girl in the village doing all right until somebody ran up and started a fight, and I fought him with all of my might. And my mama freaked out and got scared and said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." Okay, so that's what we're doing. I don't know how that song actually goes, so I know you're all furious with me for that. Long story short, his fave is probably going to be a trickster or death underworld god. Yeah, I think you pretty much touched on that. Yeah. Then I became a princess overnight. I have to go to bed. Have a great night. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for joining us, Caitlin. It was very nice having you here. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time here. Okay. Okay, so I think Rachel Elizabeth Dare is distantly related to Mallory Keene from Magnus Chase. I could see that. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. It stated that he got his shape-shifting from Phineas. Oh, did it state that? Oh, okay. I need to go check my facts again. They stated he got his shape-shifting from Poseidon. Oh, no, they stated he's descended from Poseidon. I don't think they said that's where he got his shape-shifting from, though. Like, I know he's descended from Poseidon, but I'm going to check my facts just to make sure, but I still want to believe that since his mother was Chinese, that's going to somehow tie into Sun Wukong. Talking about they stated that he got his weakness from his heritage to that other child of Poseidon, the guy who whose life was connected to a log. Talking about mythology, would you consider Eddie Van Halen a god of rock? I will accept this. That's totally fine with me. Okay. Ancestors, child of Poseidon. Yeah. We talked about that a little. From Greek mythology, name all the Olympian gods from favorite to least favorite. Oh, God, I need to pre-prep these things. Actually, fun little story. One time in English class, my English teacher hated me because I had an attention problem and I wasn't the best student. And I had been doing horrible in her class. But then we got to the second half of the year when she started teaching us Greek mythology, and I already knew it all. And she thought I wasn't paying attention once. And so she said, Andrew, you may not think Greek mythology is important, but it is. It is culture. And I said, no, I know it is. I love Greek mythology. She was like, oh, do you? And I was like, yeah, I actually already know it. She said, oh, you know it. She was trying something. She was like, well, can you name all 12 of the gods? And I said, well, actually, there's 14 of them. And then I got up and I listed them all, and she was like, sit down. And from that point on, everyone started asking me test answers for the rest of the year. That was one of my proudest moments of all time. I don't know if I can list them from favorite to least favorite, but my favorite is Hades. Second favorite is probably Hephaestus. Third favorite is probably Hermes. Fourth favorite is probably Athena. Fifth favorite is probably Dionysus. Sixth is probably Artemis. Seventh is probably Apollo. Then probably Poseidon. Then God, who's left? Okay, those are the top 8. So the rest of the gods are simply Zeus, Hera, Hestia, Demeter. Who am I leaving out? Aphrodite and Ares. That's all 14. There you go. I did it. Yay. You should do a review on the Song of Achilles one day. I heard it's good and I want to read it so bad. I've actually, I had someone on TikTok talk about that. That's on my list of possible things to do in the future. So yeah, I can talk about that on the channel at some point. If you could have any of the 7 monster children of Echidna, who would you choose and why? Well, I guess it depends. Is this creature going to completely listen to what I say? Because if it does, I'm going to pick either Cerberus or the Chimera. I think those are the 2 coolest ones. And I like 3-headed monsters. And I feel like those are the 2, I was going to say most powerful, but no, the most powerful one is definitely Ladin. But I'm probably go with Cerberus because I freaking love dogs, and I love the idea of having a giant 3-headed one that it's like, no one's breaking into my house. Greetings to you as well. Since the bodies of our solar system were named after Roman gods, how weird would it be if we called the planets by the name's Greek counterparts? Let's normalize that. Let's start doing that. Oh, God. Okay, Cassandra, good for you. I'm glad you're having a fun night, and I'm not going to read that out loud. Am I the only person who thinks it's odd that Pluto is always an outcast and years later Pluto is no longer a planet? I never thought of that. That's amazing. Yeah, Pluto the god was an outcast, and now Pluto the planet is an outcast. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, as other people are pointing out, it's quite weird. Okay, Kate, I'm glad you're having a good time too. Guys, let's keep it PG rated up in here. Or is it a conspiracy to undermine Hades or Pluto? It could be. It could be. The scientists are in on it. Kane Chronicles is live action. Okay, you got me really curious, Netflix. Let's see how you play it. Ought to be interesting. I wonder if we're getting live action Percy Jackson on Disney Plus and live action Kane Chronicles on Netflix. Are we going to have a crossover of streaming platforms? It'll be like Percy Jackson from Disney Plus and Kane Chronicles from Netflix. Well, now you can see them interact on Amazon Prime. Buy a 3rd subscription. Yeah, and Magnus Chase is on Hulu. What is your favorite sport, or do you not like sports? I was not a big sports guy growing up, but my favorite sport is ping pong. You will never pull out a ping pong table, ask me to play, and hear me say no. I love ping pong to death. I also love dodgeball a lot. I like games with, where we throw a red ball at each other. Anyway, are there any fellow weebs here today? I love Death Note and Dragon Ball. I prefer the mangas to the shows, but I still enjoy the shows enough. I'm also reading Shield Hero right now, which is a lot of fun. Yes, Kate, we heard you the first time. Hey, buddy. Hey, you. Hello. Hello to you, too. Can you say my name, please? Okay, UB Creations, all for creative. I can say your name. Did you have that name in elementary school? Was that on the roll call sheet? Is UB Creations all for creative here today? Yes, he is. Or she. I don't know what gender that name is. I'm very sorry. Yes, Cassandra, we heard you the first time. God darn. Yes, when I agree with you, please stop. That song is in the theme for cartoon Sophia the First, if you're wondering. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen Sophia the First for fairly obvious reasons. Please tell my name, bro. I just did. Okay, you know what, Cassandra, I've had enough of your crap. Okay. Did you know Hermes created the UPS? I see no reason not to believe that. Aaliyah, I am also a weep. Good for you, Aaliyah. That was oh, we're still talking about the shapeshifting. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get what you guys are saying. Do you like any sports? I just touched on that. Okay. Yeah, Poseidon also could give super strength. I'm sure a lot of the gods can give super strength. They are gods after all. But yeah. Yeah, okay. So Athena was my favorite Greek goddess until I heard the actual myth of Medusa, not the child-safe version. And now it's probably Hecate because I can't think of anything she did to harm mortals. Okay. There's a lot of debate as to the Medusa story, and I'm going to tell you there are actually a minimum of 3 different versions of that story. The oldest version of the Medusa story, she was a Gorgon the whole time. Nobody turned her into anything. The second oldest version of the Medusa story, she was a horrible person. She was bragging that she was better than Athena. She intentionally defiled Athena's temple, and so Athena turned her into a Gorgon. The third version of the story, this is the one people are talking about a lot now. She was the victim. She was assaulted by Poseidon, and then Athena victim blamed her and turned her into a Gorgon. That's the version people are going by a lot now, and that's not invalid. That version is a thing, but it doesn't mean the other 2 versions are invalid too. And the reason I bring this up is because I see people arguing about it all the time. All 3 are real stories, guys. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. There are also some people trying to say now Athena did it for Medusa's own good, but so far as I know, that's not an actual story in Greek mythology. But yeah, so I can see why you would get mad at Athena for that, but if you want to still like her, you could always just go by one of the other 2 versions. But technically every god has done something horrible, so that's another thing. I play golf and archery. Hey, that's awesome. I wish I knew archery. I like golf too. Mini golf. I love the hell out of mini golf. My business partner and I do that a lot, and she gets so competitive it makes me kind of sad when I beat her. I started with archery when I learned about Artemis and Apollo. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. You know, good on you for learning archery. It's a really awesome talent to have. When I first read Magnus Chase, I died, so it was so good to me. I'm glad it was good to you, buddy. I'm very glad that you were able to relate to that story. All right. I've been into Greek mythology for 8 years, archery for 7. Wow, we got some archers in the chat over here. Ah, dang, I'm scared. Okay. Do you like American history? I know American history about as well as any average Joe. I don't go out of my way to learn more of it. My little brother actually knows American history really well. So, he's the big American history guy. I'm more of a mythology guy. Oh, hey, that's my username. Yeah, isn't it funny how that came together? Oh, wow, I didn't know about the 3 versions. I just know what Edith Hamilton's mythology told me. Yeah, very few books are going to mention multiple versions of a myth. They all usually just tell one version. And that's a challenge I have in my game too, because there are multiple versions of the same character. So I do end up, when I put a character in the game, I have to decide which version I'm going to go with. And most of the time, I will either pick the oldest version or the most like known and accepted version, because what else can I do? Or I'll just pick my personal favorite because it's my game and I'll put in what I want to put in. Okay. Athena, Medusa, Poseidon, the gods. Are we doing a chant here? I don't know what we're doing. This is part of a chain. Yeah, it's all of their fault. Yeah, it kind of is. Do you like Hamilton? Haven't seen it. Honestly, I'm not as motivated to see it as a lot of other people are. But I'm guessing this ties into the American history question. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on it. I'm more interested in watching the Percy Jackson musical right now and making a video talking about that, because that'll be this channel related. Who are your favorite Greek heroes? I like Bellerophon, Cyrene, and Atalanta. Those are all great choices. Yeah. It's very cliche, but it is Heracles for me as my favorite Greek hero. I grew up with the Hercules movie, loved it. Then I read the actual myth, loved it just as much. And I think Heracles has a really impressive, really cool story. I also like Perseus. He's got a really cool story too, and he's the only guy in all of Greek mythology who actually has a freaking happy ending. He's also one of the few guys who doesn't seem to do anything horrible during his story. But Atlanta's pretty cool too. I like the whole fastest woman in the world thing. And Bellerophon, if he wasn't so darn cocky, he would have accomplished a lot more. My sports are Model UN and Quiz Bowl. Well, I don't know much about those, but congratulations. Yes, I like Hamilton. Good for you. Camp Jupiter or Camp Half-Blood, and why? I will always prefer Greek, so I'm probably going to go with Camp Half-Blood. Also, I like how Camp Half-Blood, the satyrs are more buddies with everyone. In Camp Jupiter, it seems like they're more servant class, and why can't we all just be friends? Camp Half-Blood has Capture the Flag, yeah. I think I scrolled a little too far down. Also Greeks, let's fight stuff, okay. Camp Half-Blood's Capture the Flag or Camp Jupiter's War Games? Oh, I like War Games. This is the thing. I might hang out at Camp Half-Blood most of the time, but I'll go visit Camp Jupiter to play the War Games. Sound like fun. Yeah, let's fight stuff. Yes, let's. Boa noite. Good night from Brazil. Oh, well, thank you, Luana. Yeah, it was very nice having you here. Well, I don't know if you're leaving or just telling us how to say good night in Brazilian, but either way, thank you. I like how the Romans are so organized and the Greeks are like fight and don't die. Yeah, it shows the differences between them. I love the campfire song from the Percy Jackson musical. I need to see that. I need to watch that musical, and I want to talk about it on the channel. Who's your favorite character from Heroes of Olympus? Mine is Annabeth. My favorite character in all of Rick Riordan is Percy Jackson. But just to be fair, since he's the main character from the Percy Jackson series, I'm going to try to give you a favorite character who originated in Heroes of Olympus. That's going to be Leo. I really like Leo. Leo is a ton of fun. Okay. My favorite Greek hero is Patroclus, because I relate to him the most, because I too am a family disappointment. What do you want me to say to that? I mean, your username is Fabulous Disappointment. You know what? Read your username, buddy. It doesn't matter if you're a disappointment, because you're a fabulous disappointment. You keep being fabulous, my good friend. Keep being fabulous. All right? Thoughts on the dreaded wet towel Octavian? Octavian is an asshole, and I think we can all agree with that. And then there's a particularly mean comment about Octavian. Have you watched House of Anubis? No, actually, I don't really know anything about that. I really need help from like the people watching me. I really need you guys to let me know when things are coming up, because I'm very much working on the game and working on the TikTok and working with my business partner. So it's really hard for me to stay up to date with certain stuff. House of Anubis, that's something I need to look into. Thoughts on Walt and Anubis becoming one person? It seemed like the natural progression of that story. I personally thought the Anubis character was cooler than Walt, but also Walt was a good guy, so it's. It was a natural thing for it to happen. It seemed like something that the story was very much building up, and I actually a little bit saw it coming. So, I thought, yeah, that sounds about right. My favorite from PJO is Nico, and from Heroes of Olympus is Neo. Good choices. Those are really good characters. Team Leo, good for you. I'm also a disappointment. Not to me. None of you are disappointments to me. You're all here, and that's good enough. That's all I want. My favorite character is Will. He's so complex, plus he's a Star Wars geek. That's a very good point. Yeah, that is a very good point. It's trash can, not trash cannot. I love that saying. Should Octavian have killed Percy's panda pillow pet? Oh, of course not. Why would you kill a panda pillow pet? Pandas are wonderful. Octavian sucks. Change my mind. But why do we want to change your mind when you speak the truth, good sir? Okay, it's been about an hour. So I'm gonna give you guys about 2 or 3 minutes to fire off questions, and I'm gonna try to fire through them as fast as possible. So any last minute questions you guys want to ask, I'll happily try to get through all of them. All right, Egyptian gnome houses or Greek cabins? I'm gonna go with Greek cabins. Well, actually, gnome houses are a ton of fun though. I don't know. I'll take what I can get, but my first reaction is Greek cabins just because Greece. I love Greece. If you could have a series on any of the previous avatars from Avatar: The Last Airbender, who would you pick and why? It would probably be Avatar Roku. He's the one we've gotten the most development on. To be fair, we did kind of learn his story, but I would like to know the things he did. But also the Avatar right before him, Avatar Kyoshi, I believe is what her name was. I would love to see her kick a bunch of ass too. That would be amazing. So either of those would be really cool. What's your favorite Persebeth moment? Their first kiss. That's my favorite one. Favorite Camp Jupiter demigod. I'm just gonna say Frank. I really like his abilities and I really like his character. Okay. You drool when you sleep. I believe I do. How do you know what I do when I sleep? Okay, Hypnos. Is it true some of the planets are named after Greek gods, for example, Hermes? I do not know. In fact, this is the first time hearing of that. I need to look that up now. If you were an Egyptian magician, which god would you follow? Anubis. Anubis all the way. Cue the Apollo cabin, waking up at dawn because Apollo puts on some fire music at a frequency only his kids can hear while driving the sun chariot. I love that idea. In fact, I kind of joked about Apollo and music in yesterday's sketch video. Best Persebeth moment ever. Yeah, like I said, the first kiss. Do you like the tiny homes that Anubis create? Do you mean Anubis? I'm sorry. I'm honestly not sure what you mean. So I'm sorry. Have a wonderful night. You too, Bella. You have a wonderful night too. If you were an Avatar: The Last Airbender, which element would you want to bend? It's probably either air or water. I feel like those give you a lot of really creative options. Will you ever do a video on the zodiacs and how they became constellations? Well, that's actually a pretty good idea. I think I will do that. Hi, dude. Hello, my good man. Cheese. Cheese indeed. Fabulous disappointment. No, the Persebeth moment you... Oh. Okay, I see what you meant now. Okay, that's cute. Night, going to bed. You are really good at what you do. Keep it up. Oh. Thank you. This is what keeps me going a lot of the time. Can we just appreciate Festus for a bit? Yes, we can. Okay, appreciate Festus. Do it. Come on. I'm not feeling the appreciation. Let's appreciate him. Are we all appreciating him? Okay, good. We're appreciating him. Very good. Very good. Okay, so, okay, Festus, you had your moment now. Okay, what would Annabeth be part of if she was an avatar? God, I don't know. Annabeth would not be a bender. She would be one of the incredibly badass people who knows how to block people's bending. Kyoshi warrior. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. I think she would be a Kyoshi warrior. You are literally the most sunshiny person I know, and I am living for it. Oh, thank you. Is that because I'm blonde? I don't know. Okay. So I asked you about Typhon from Greek mythology because I was in a bad situation. I don't know if I if you remember, but I solved the situation. Oh yeah, I do remember being asked about Typhon. Yeah, and so that was you. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad to hear you solved the situation, and I hope things are doing better for you, and I hope like my answer helped you out. So yeah, I'm very happy to hear that. Happy the dragon is best boy. He is indeed. Have a great night. You have a great night too. Have you watched or read Fruits Basket? I have not. I first I'm hearing about that. It's about the Japanese zodiac. Oh, okay. Well, put that. Watched or read. Is this a book/movie or book/show? I'm not sure what this is. Who here has ADHD? I have ADD. Percy splashes onto the battlefield in the announcement for Smash. Oh, that would be great. Throughout the day, I look forward to when the video of the day comes out. Your videos are the best. I swear you're all trying to make me cry. It's not going to happen. It did. Cool. I do. Cool. Well, I have to go socialize. Good night. Have a good night, too. Remember the scene at Camp Jupiter with the flying burritos? Yes, the flying burritos. They have left many a scar upon the people. What do you like better, YouTube or TikTok? They each have their advantages. TikTok is less prone to taking your videos down. Even though they actually did take a couple of mine down, I was able to get them all back up except for one. But YouTube gives me more flexibility, options to make longer videos, so that's very nice. TikTok makes it easier to edit videos, though. I prefer watching YouTube videos to TikTok videos, but when it comes to making the video, I would say TikTok makes it more convenient to make the video. But if you want to make something long, it's all about YouTube. So they each have their advantages. I've always been more of a YouTube person than a TikTok person, but I wouldn't be where I am today without TikTok, so I owe a lot to TikTok. Have you heard the myth of the flying spaghetti monster? Whoa, don't say its name, man. Don't say its name. That's how it shows up, dude. You made me say it. Now I'm scared. I'm going to have to lock my doors. Flying spaghetti monsters? Oh, shoot, I said it again. Oh, man, I'm dead. I'm freaking dead. Ever since it was mentioned on South Park, it was the end of everything. I have ADHD. Welcome to the club, buddy. I'm in shock. I had one job and I blew it. What? You didn't blow it. Yeah, you didn't blow it. You're good. Fruits Basket is an anime manga. Oh, that's really cool. Yo, ignore me. I just wanted to let you know I'm here. Oh, shoot, I didn't ignore you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Am I the only one who realized that Percy is Ariel's uncle? Well, now we all know. Raina needs more recognition, no proof needed. Raina's pretty awesome. I'm sure I haven't finished Tyrant's Tomb, but it looks like she's going to get recognition in that. I hope. I don't know. Remember when Leo was framed for attempted murder? Yeah. But you know what? Maybe he wasn't framed. Maybe Leo was just having fun. And then, when the other people showed up, he pretended to be possessed because it's like, oh crap, how am I going to get out of this? That's what I would have done. Let's not forget about Chemopolia, all right? Yeah, let's not forget that either. DC or Marvel? Love both, but grew up with Justice League and Teen Titans. For me, DC is slightly better. But what Marvel has done with their movie universe is incredible. I was really hoping DC would be able to do that, but it looks like if they do that, it's pretty rocky right now. Some movies were great. Can I get a Hoya? Hoya! There you go. There you freaking go. My friend Renee used to say that all the time. Is that you? Is that you, Renee? Favorite candy, Reese's. Go. No, you don't tell me when to go. Marvel cartoons or movies? Movies. If Raina and Annabeth got into a fight, who would win? I don't know. Those are the two most badass women in the series. Favorite horror movie? It's probably Terrifier, but be careful if you're going to watch that. That movie's an experience. I also really like the It remake. The sequel to the remake is not quite as good, but it's still fun enough. Who's your favorite Riordan-verse villain? I'm just going to say Kronos. Kronos is the big bad of Greek mythology for me a lot of the time. Let's not forget that today is Friday the 13th. How did I not realize that? I should have made a Friday the 13th related video today. Okay. Well, thank you all very much for showing up. I had a lot of fun with every single one of you, and I will do this every single month, okay? I promise. And I promise I'll give you guys advance notice. So if you have more questions, which I didn't get to here, you can save them for the next Q&A, or you can just post them on literally any video, and I'll most likely answer them. I do that a lot of the time. You the best. Thank you. Blood Moon 2 weeks ago. Crap, I need to get out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you guys very much for joining. Thank you guys very much for all your kind words. Really means a lot to me. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.